So I'm really excited to be joined again today by Alex Shakov, who's an email deliverability expert and the founder of SH Consulting. This is our second video together. So if you did not already watch the first about email deliverability, I'll put the link in the description below. But Alex, thank you so much for joining today. We're going to be doing a deep dive into the update to the regulations that Gmail just announced about a month ago. So thank you for joining today.
Thank you very much, Elena. It's really a pleasure to be a part of this conversation.
Yeah, so just to dive straight in, can you give us an overview of the new email sending rules that Gmail's put in place, especially for real estate agents and even mortgage lenders that are using a CRM like Follow Up Boss?
Yeah, of course. So these forthcoming regulations, Google regulations, are set to change the way all of us, from large brokerages to mid-sized teams to solo agents, communicate with our clients. To be more specific, starting in February 2024, every company that sends various types of emails, such as nurturing, promotional, or transactional, especially in high volumes, must configure their email servers. Failing to do so could result in their emails being flagged as spam, potentially leading to their domains being blacklisted. These regulations also apply to solo agents and small teams who still rely on free Gmail addresses for business communication. These changes in email security protocols on the gmail.com email server will render these free Gmail accounts ineffective for business purposes. This means that anyone continuing to use free Gmail addresses to send email through the third-party providers will likely end up in the recipient spam folders. So, for example, do you send action plan email through follow-up boss? They might end up in the spam folder. Do your property alerts go out from your Gmail account? Leads may find them in spam. Would you like to send updates to your database through MailChimp? Ask recipients to check their spam folder. Appointment notification? Oh, they are probably in the spam folder too. So even regular email sent from follow-up boss, welcome to spam. So these regulations will indeed pose challenges to the real estate industry, but the good news is that the solution isn't overly complicated. With some adjustments, everyone can align themselves with these rules in about a week or so. However, it's crucial to understand that benefit these regulations bring. They aim to reduce the number of spammers sending unwanted emails, make scamming techniques more difficult to execute, and of course enhance email account protection against common threats. In general, these regulations are a positive step toward improving the email communication channel.
Yeah, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I think this has already happened for other email providers. Like if you use AOL.com, Yahoo, maybe even like a free Hotmail. At least in the past, I've seen with Yahoo, just the emails weren't even being able to send. Like Yahoo was just blocking it. Is that the case? Like it was already blocked for those?
Yes. So that's happening to all of the free email accounts, whether it's Yahoo, Gmail, AOL, or Comcast, whatever.
Yeah. And so for those, not only going in spam, but then I was also seeing just Follow Up Boss putting the label saying blocked or undelivered. And people thought, oh, it's the emails that are causing it to be blocked. But no, it was your email provider. You need to upgrade from a free email account. So I know that a lot of people are using free Gmail accounts, a lot of agents to communicate with clients. They use it for the email they use in Follow Up Boss. So with the new quarantine DMARC policy, what immediate challenges can users and agents expect if they, starting February 1st, they continue using these free Gmail accounts?
So using free Gmail accounts for business has always been a gamble because Gmail was created for personal use. If Google's algorithm flagged your accounts as likely to send marketing emails, they could shut it down without giving you a chance to retrieve your emails, calendar, contacts, and Google Drive data. I had 5 businesses this year experiencing this issue. So this fact makes relying on a free Gmail account for business is a risky move. Google does not specifically target those using Gmail for business. They look at patterns like unusual sending volume, check the links and their destination points, search for spam trigger words in email templates, and review other information to identify accounts potentially used for scams. It's crucial for real estate agents to realize that Google's implementation of the quarantine DMARC policy isn't to complicate their email communication or to push sales of premium products like Google Workspace. is to cut down on scams, phishing, spoofing, and other email threats. And this will have a positive impact on the email ecosystem in general. Let me give you an example, and I will keep it brief. I recently helped an agent bolster her email security after an incident. A few weeks back, an agent told me about a scammer who had created a Gmail account very similar to hers and was sending out fake billing instructions to her contacts. They copied her name, profile photo, and the email address was nearly the same, changing just one letter to mislead her clients. For instance, while the agent's email was lisasimpson@gmail.com, the scammers used lisasimpson@gmail.com. The difference is slight, just one letter, Lisa versus Lisa. And with Google's upcoming regulations, engaging in such misleading practices will be much harder. The DMARC quarantine policy on Gmail server will filter out these types of misleading emails into spam. And we all know that emails from trusted sources don't typically land in the spam folder. So this raises a red flag for those who receive it.
Well, that's a bummer that happened to Lisa, but that's a good news of why we shouldn't be upset that Gmail's doing this. We should be happy because I know I've gotten I get fake emails several times a day, every day from email providers that look real. And at this point, I'm skeptical of any email I get. I will always double check now. Is this really, like I emailed you the other day, is this really PayPal or is it not? Just to make sure that it's not being spoofed. So, and then earlier you mentioned it's already happened to 5 people you worked with. So that's crazy that people's accounts are getting blocked before this is even officially in place. That's why it's crucial not to procrastinate, wait till February last minute, but to do this now. So yeah, we've been talking a lot about the DMARC policy, and I guess a lot of people may be hearing this for the first time that are watching this video. Can you briefly explain what it is and what role this policy plays in the upcoming regulations?
Yeah, of course. So DMARC is an email security protocol that informs receiving servers how to handle your emails if it passes or fails basic email authentication protocols like DKIM and SPF. When DMARC is set to quarantine mode, it instructs other servers to place your email in quarantine, which means in the spam folder if it fails DKIM and SPF verification checks. In other words, if the third-party email infrastructure is not connected to the email server through the DKIM and SPF protocols, this leads emails to be placed in the spam folder. With the new regulations effective from February 2024, gmail.com email server adopts the quarantine DMARC policy, ensuring that emails sent through third-party providers like Follow-Up and MailChimp will always land in the spam folder. And this change leaves no room for bypassing the system.
Yeah. And earlier you mentioned that this update is intended to prevent scammers from spoofing your email, but can you go a little bit further and like how does this transition to creating a professional email account enhance protection against phishing, spoofing, and other email related threats?
Well, Google Workspace doesn't automatically improve email security, but it does give you a fantastic chance to make changes to your email servers that do affect security. When you have a professional email account with your own domain name, you get access to your email server via the domain control panel. This lets you secure your emails, a feature you obviously don't get with a free Gmail account because gmail.com belongs to Google. So the first couple of things you want to do when you sign up for Google Workspace are get your email up and running, and then you want to implement email security protocols on your email server to defend against email threats. One of the essential protocols to set up, among others, is a DMARC policy. DMARC prevents your emails and domain name from being compromised by spoofing and phishing attacks. Now, if you are a solo agent, you might think here, hey, why do I need the DMARC policy if I'm the only one sending emails from my domain? And technically, you're absolutely right. But there are techniques that can let someone with the right tools and a wrongly configured email server send emails pretending to be you, or even create fake email accounts with your company's domain. And trust me, that's definitely not something that you really want. And the DMARC policy, in conjunction with correctly configured DKIM and SPF protocols, offer this protection. So the key point here is Google Workspace isn't just for branding, like I always hear from anyone who signs up for Google Workspace. No, it's actually a powerful spam filtering system that can be fine-tuned to your personal needs. It's a protection against the mimicking of your email accounts and domain names. It's improved email durability and, of course, enhanced email security. With access to your email server through the domain control panel, you're not just stopping phishing and spoofing with DMARC on reject mode, along with DKIM and SPF records in place, of course. You can also encrypt your email so they are not intercepted, keep your client's email from being misrouted to the fake email server, prevent email hijacking, secure your TLS connection. That's the thing that keeps email safe as they travel over the internet, and many more. So yeah, Google Workspace is something that you really want, especially if keeping your customers' data safe is top priority, and it should be, right? Especially for real estate agents. They are dealing with people who have got money, who are buying homes, investing. They need to be protected. And Google Workspace is an excellent place to start.
Okay, so for real estate agents that are sending newsletters or property alerts, besides spam, what other risks do they face if they don't make the switch to Google Workspace from their personal account?
Indeed, the risks associated with continuing to use personal email accounts for sending email through third-party services like Follow-up Boss are quite clear. Under the forthcoming regulations, every email sent through such accounts is likely to end up in the spam folder, and there will be no means to retrieve them due to the strict email security policies implemented for gmail.com email server. To maintain a functional email marketing channel, real estate agents must transition to professional email account before these regulations take effect. And the sooner they make the switch, the better, because it's always important to note that building a positive reputation for email account takes time, and typically it's around 4 to 6 weeks of email warm-up. And everyone needs to warm up, especially if the account is going to be used for lead nurturing or email marketing. Therefore, acting promptly is essential to ensure a smooth transition and uninterrupted email communication with clients and prospects.
Okay, and the last question for you. If someone's watching this and they have a free Gmail account and they need to switch to Google Workspace, what are the first steps they should take? And do you have any resources available that they can use to help them make a smooth transition?
So the first step and the most important step is not to worry about making the switch. Many ask me if they will still have access to their personal Gmail accounts post-transition. And the answer is yes, of course. Your professional email through Google Workspace operates independently of your personal Gmail, meaning they function as two separate accounts. With Google Workspace, you will maintain full access to your Gmail, including the ability to send and receive emails, and your calendar, contacts, and all your email history will remain intact. There is no need to stress over promotional materials, business cards, and such. Simply set up email forwarding from your Gmail to your professional account and respond from there. So the very first step agents need to take is to decide on the domain name they would like to use with a professional email account. Of course, they also need to own the domain name and select a Google Workspace plan that best suits their needs. This can depend on their team size and the number of users they would like to have in the Google Workspace organization, the size of cloud storage for each user, and even the level of base security they would like to have for Google Workspace. Most likely, they want to create a mirrored copy of their Gmail account in Google Workspace. And they can do so by setting up email migration in the Google Cloud using a data migration tool. They will also need to manually sync calendars and move contacts. There is nothing particularly difficult about the process, but it requires a lot of attention to details and to ensure that nothing is missed and that everything is working properly. Thankfully, Google provides detailed documentation on how to set up migration and other things. And patience is key during the email migration. It can take from several days to weeks, depending on the volume of emails. For example, I'm assisting an agent with a migration of 3,000 emails, which is already in the second week. So before agents begin, they have to think about which emails are essential to move to the new professional email account. Transferring 10,000 emails might take a month, a significant duration. And once Google Workspace is active, remember to update the email address on all marketing platforms and CRM system, be it Follow Up Boss, MailChimp, or Ylopa. Simply log in and update the settings. And of course, don't overlook the importance of the customizing spam filters and setting up security protocols to defend the domain against threats. The most important ones are the ones that we've just discussed: DKIM signature, SPF, and DMARC policy. They must be implemented directly in the email server, and the entire implementation process might be quite complicated depending on the email technology stack they and their team use. However, the basic can be managed themselves. I frequently write about this in my blog, since email security for real estate is one of the main concerns for SH Consulting. So
Okay. Well, that's a new thing to me. I didn't know it could take weeks to transition. So yet another reason not to wait until the end of January to make the switch, because it may not be ready by the time February 1st comes around. So something you mentioned earlier, that it's not just setting up Google Workspace that's going to add further protection. You also need to take security measures. So if someone says, okay, well, maybe I could set up my own Google Workspace account, maybe I want someone else's help with it, but I also definitely need help with security because I don't know how to do that. Is that something you help agents do, whether it's a solo agent or maybe there's a mid to large team and they need all of their team members in this Google Workspace account? Is that something you help with?
yes, of course. So we help agents and teams implement email security protocols in their servers. Of course, we primarily work with small and mid-sized teams, because when it comes to large enterprise like Keller Williams or eXp Realty, they do have their own spam filtering solutions, and it will be absolutely no sense for them to implement our solution. But when it comes to the small teams and solo agents, we'll be really happy to help them and to make sure that none of their emails will be compromised, or they will be prevented from spoofing, phishing attacks, and so on. So yeah.
Very good. So in the link in the description, I'll put a link to Alex's website, and you can book a call with him. And last question for you. You mentioned a little bit earlier you have some blogs on this. Do you have any blogs that you can share if someone wants to do a little bit more research on this that we can share with them?
Yes, of course. Of course. I have a blog on my website, so I will send a link to you, and feel free to check my blog and put it in the description. I have a lot of articles about how to implement the DKIM signature, sender policy framework, DMARC protocols, and so on. So yeah, absolutely. Everyone is welcome to my blog.
Very good. That'll be perfect for the DIYers for sure. I appreciate your time today, Alex. I think those will be very insightful. I know there's been a lot of questions around this update, and do I need to really do it? And the answer is yes. So thank you for shedding some light and going into the granular details of why it's important to do this.
Thank you, Lena. That's really always a pleasure to have a conversation with you. So that was really nice discussion, and I really enjoyed it.